Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to design a necklace using Bargain Bead Box subscription for the month of June 2024. This is one strand of these matte beads. Let me see what they are. I have the Bargain Bead Box thing right here. So I think it's Malaysian jade dyed quartz frosted beads. Okay, and then the Amazonite teardrop pendant. Everybody will have a different color, slightly a different variation of this. Some might have even more blue and some might have more tan like me. So I think the blue and the tan kind of complements each other really well. So I wanted to make something out of this. I also pulled out some of the lava beads that we got, which is in a bronze color. Then I took this Chinese knotting cord from my stash. It's 0.8 millimeter Chinese knotting cord, and it is in a really tan color, like matches our pendant is what I thought. So I'm going to take about, say, let me see, 4 feet of cord. Okay. I know it's a little bit too much, but I don't want it to be less than that. I don't want to feel that, oh my god, why did I take less, kind of. I'm gonna knot, I'm gonna macrame, so I'm gonna do something different. So that's why I took this. Take these 2 cords and put it through your hole here. So as we do macrame, we do need a lighter to melt these ends, so it's easier for us to thread our strand into the hole of this thing, this pendant. So here we have the center. Go through that loop like that. It's a lock set knot that we are making, but I did make it in the opposite direction. I kind of like this. So this is the base of the pendant. So this is a slightly domed on the other side. So I want to keep this as, just like that. Okay, it makes sense. I like it. If you don't like it, you can go ahead and, do it the other way. So I kind of like this. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take these beads and string through this. Let me see if it looks good or not right next to the pendant. Maybe yes, maybe not. Let me know. The other side, I'm gonna string one of these lava beads through this first. Okay. And see which one looks good. I feel that looks good, so I'm gonna take this off and I'm gonna add one more of the lava bead here. Maybe probably one which is shaped nicely, because it's right next to the pendant. We want it to look nice. I want it to look nice, so here we go. Here is our 2 beads. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take my one strand, wrap it around my fingers, take it through that loop that I created. So here it is, and stretch, get it all the way closer to the bead, and then tie a knot. I'm not very worried about tying a very tight knot, because I don't want it. So again, the same thing, make a loop, put that thing through the loop and tighten that up and hold it and pull. We have 2 knots. Maybe this one is a little bit okay. So this is what we have so far. So I kind of like this too. So I'm gonna add my 8 millimeter beads I thought I will just use the 8mm, but the lava bead looks good, so I'm just gonna knot again. Okay, so I'm not very particular about, so I took only 4 feet, so I can go only up till that. So here we go. It's a hand knotting technique. Wrap it between your fingers, take the loop inside, leave that loop. Here we go, hold it like that. Okay, and there we go. So the knot lands where exactly you want it to be. So I continue this. See, this knot kind of serves as a stopper, or a place, a spacer for your beads, so that the beads don't do this against each other. So that's what the knot is really for. So you can follow a pattern of 4 of these beads. I mean, you can just keep it and see how it looks. Like, actually it looks good, so I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna put lava bead every other bead, so it's up to you how you want it to be. If you like this way, you can go with that. So there is a couple of things that you can do with it. The knotting technique, you can use a tweezer. Let me show you guys how to use a tweezer and knot this. Once you make the knot, you take the tweezer, place it inside that loop, and hold where you want the knot to be. See that? I go inside and grab that cord where I want the knot to be, and then pull that tail end through, and then tighten that knob and slowly wiggle the tweezers out. See, the knot is still not closed and it is not tight. So take the end cord and push the knot towards the bead. There you go, your knot is right where it needs to be. Okay, so do the same here. That's the tweezer technique, but I really like the hand knotting technique. It's pretty easy. You don't need to rely on any particular tool for this knot, but there is also another way to do it with the beadle or not a tool, or using a bead awl. This is a bead awl. I'm gonna use a bead awl here, so I'm gonna knot here. Okay, and then instead of doing the hand knotting technique, you just hold this bead awl inside that loop that we created and tighten this up, and then hold it and push it against the bead that you want to. There's a slight difference, a slight space, which is okay for me. If it is not, go ahead and use your tweezers to loosen up this knot, and then you can tighten it. I like to use my Tweezers pliers for this. That's much more easy. Hold this, bump, move it, and then tighten that. Okay, just as this way you can do all your knots for this necklace, and you can follow the pattern whichever you want. You don't have to follow the same pattern that I did. I wanted to do 3 beads and 2 lava beads, just like that. I will finish up making this, and also I wanted to do a section of macrame right here. It's an asymmetrical necklace. That's going to be, I'll get to the point and then come back. So I finished knotting this other side, if you guys can see. I did finish knotting one side, so I did knots after every other bead, and then out here I didn't do any knots between the 3 beads, just after the lava beads. Why? I have only 4 feet, and this is how much I have left. So this much I need 4 inches at least for the tail. So this is how much I have left. So I didn't want to put so much knots and make this necklace length shorter. So about, say, if I measure it now, it is 11 inches. So totally this will be 22 inches plus adjusting sliding knot, it will give 22 inches length, which I really like it. If you guys are okay with it, you can do a shorter or longer necklace. It's totally up to you. On the other side, see how I added this bead. After this, I added this bead cap that we got, and then the spacer bead. So I'm gonna do a small macrame section. I don't know if I really like this on the side or not, but I thought I will just do a small knotting section right here. Okay, so I cut, say, about, you can cut about a feet. I have 16 inches of cord. The same cord I can use is what I think. If I want to use the same cord or a little bit contrast cord, just a little bit darker one or a greenish one, so because this one has that patina finish, you can use a teal one if you want to. It's totally up to you. So I'm just still thinking about it. I'm choosing to use a darker color. See, this one is a little bit darker color, mostly towards my, bronzy color, I would say. Just a darker finish is what I'm looking for, but you guys can do whichever you guys prefer. So we have seen all the three techniques: the hand knotting, the tweezer technique, the bead awl technique. So now I'm gonna macrame this part. So you can do it several ways. Okay, I'm gonna use my knotty doll. I have this set up in my knotty doll, but you guys can tape this to your surface and do it. Use a clipboard and do it, or macrame board. I have here 16 inches of the darker color cord, and I'm gonna take this and then make a Q. I always start with a Q, and there's Q's and P's in the square knot. So if you're not aware of the basic macrame knots, go ahead and watch the tutorial in the description box below. I have always given a link for that, the basic macrame knots, and it is the basic macrame square knot. It consists of Q's and P's. Q means you keep the left cord, this is the center cord, the base cord, and these are the knotting cords. Keep the left cord here, take the right cord, go on top, underneath, and pull through. That's a Q. I already made a Q. You can do a spiral knot or base knot, but I'm thinking of a spiral knot now, so I'm gonna do just the Q only. So I'm gonna do again the Q. That will make the knot spiral, and I'm gonna do a couple of knots. 3, that's a 4, that's a 5, that is a 6. See, just twist it like this and then continue doing it. Always do the Q, so that way this will spiral, and I want the knot right next to the bead. I don't want any gap. Okay, then push this spacer bead right here, then again continue doing the Q as if there is no difference. That will capture the spacer bead for you. I did 6 on the other side. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a small section. If you want, you can do a bigger section. That's totally up to you. I think I'll do one more, and then I really like it. Let me just take this out and see if I like this section or I want it a little bit more. I think just a little more, since I have this cord, I can make a little bit more is what I feel. So I'm gonna remove this. Okay, make 10 knots here, and then the spacer bead, and then 10 knots, and I'll meet you guys back. So I finished that. So if you do about say 16 inches, that yielded me like around 24 knots. So depending upon how many knots you want, you can determine this. So this is a small section of macrame, as you guys can see. So small section of macrame, which is a spiral macrame. Maybe I did a little bit to here, but kind of like it. That's good actually. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna cut these two cords and melt the ends, just leaving a little bit of tail so that I have something to melt. I'll show you guys after taking this, putting it over here. Take your lighter, just be very careful when you're new to the lighter. Just press it. Okay, so now that's done. As you guys can see, it looks very pretty. I really like that short section. Sorry, my voice is very blurry today. I'm really feeling sleepy, I guess. So excuse me for that. Taking the bead caps again, threading it through the cord like that, and take another bead, just add it. So this is the section I have. Okay, so this is how the necklace will look. So that's a small section, and then here we go. That's like, as you guys can see, it's like a very organic feel, very asymmetrical type. And I'm gonna again make a knot right there. Okay, and overhand knot. I'm using the hand knotting technique, and I feel that this is very nice, very, very pretty in my opinion. I really like it. If you want, you can do sections like this. That's totally up to you. Okay, but in this necklace I'm gonna just continue doing that. So take my lava beads and then add those, tie an overhand knot, continue tying a knot between every other bead until I reach, oops, it's not coming out. Let me try again. Oops, maybe that's not a good one. I need to melt my ends again, make the end a little bit more needle. See, melt it, wait for it, try again. I guess it is difficult. Okay, there we go. Off camera only it works, guys. I'm sorry about that. I'm not able to do it in camera, but I did it. Having a long tail like thing helps actually. There we go. Okay, so now as you guys can see, it's about say here, not exactly there, but it about say here. So I'm going to again tie an overhand knot, okay, and then continue tying the knot, and I'll see you guys back once I'm done with it. So now I have finished knotting it, and here is what it is. Okay, this is how much cord I have left. So I'm gonna just do, you can just take these two cord, keep it as a base cord, do a short macrame square knots, and then you can either do it this way, crisscross the cord and do it, or you can do it this way as well. So if you are really worried about macrameing a whole necklace, you can try the short sections, it will actually render a very nice feel to your necklace, is what I feel. So I'm just gonna do this, in the crisscross manner. I just don't want it to be that way. So here I go. Take my knotty tool towel. You can actually tape this or use macrame board or clipboard and do it. I do have cut a piece, like a 16-inch piece, which I'm going to use, but you need only 8-inch worth of cord to do the sliding knot. So take the cord about, say, the center. You can start doing the knots. See this? I'm starting with a Q all the time. So macrame square knots consist of Q's and P's, or you can just tie an overhand knot for the start. Take the two ends in your hand and hold it right there and pull that. That'll be about, say, the center. Okay, so then wherever the bump is, make the loop. This is a P. Take the left cord, keep it on top, go underneath through this loop and pull. Same here, make a Q, keep this on top, underneath and pull through. The same P, left cord on top, underneath and pull through. So all you need is about, say, 3 knots, but you can do as many as you want. It's totally up to you, or until your cord is done. That is also a good way to secure that knots. But 3 square knots, which is consist of 3 P's and 3 Q's, is more than sufficient. But I like to do about, say, 1 inch worth of knots, 1 inch width worth of knots. I feel much more satisfied with that, but that's what I feel. You do you, right? Okay, see this? There is something out here. Okay, which I didn't pay attention. The cord is twisted out here. We need to fix it before we move on. See that? So that cord is just twisted and it is not tight enough. See, still it's twisted. So just remove this. It's easy to remove the macrame square knots, and you won't even feel that you have. So why don't you take it and redo it properly? That way there is no twisted cord there. Okay, there we go. So now I'm much more comfortable with the knots. As I said, I like to do about, say, 1 inch or so. Now I'm good. So I'm just gonna snip off these 2 cords, just leaving a little bit to melt and to add it and press it towards my work. That way it won't come off. So also we need, see, if you leave this cord just like that, and if you, this is how you open and close. Let me just finish this first. Melt these and press it to the side. Do the same right here. Okay, so this is how you slide. Just don't make it very, very tight, otherwise it will be difficult to slide. So this is how you slide and open up the necklace. So if you leave this all by itself right here, okay, if you leave this might come off. So either you can have an 8mm bead if you want, but I just don't want to have an 8mm bead at the end, even though I have 4 beads left, but I want to have these. Okay, so I'm just going to add these, see if it goes through nicely. There we go. Okay, so So add these at the end, then tie a knot. So figure this out. This one is the shortest one, so go through the loop once and go through the loop twice. Okay, hold that right there and push the knot towards the end. You will have a much bulkier knot. Do the same the other side as well. Add a bead. If this doesn't go through, just don't push it, because sometimes this lava rocks has a lot of holes in itself, so your cord might go through a different hole and you won't be able to get it through. So there we go. So now that you have done that, so you need at the same distance the other one too. Go through that knot twice. Once, that's a regular overhand knot, and go through one more time, but this time make sure you put this thing in and hold where you want the knot to be. Okay, think about say here is where I want the knot to be. So I'm just going to tighten it up. Okay, about say the same, that's fine. So now all you need to do is snip it off, just leaving a short tail, melt it, okay. Now we have these at the end. So this is how it is. We have a long necklace at the end. So this is how your necklace looks like. A knotted macrame necklace, very pretty, with gemstone focal amazonite pendant and dyed quartz 8mm beads with a macrame section, which is really not long, which is just to about 1.5 inch long, and then with the sliding knot at the end. So this is how it looks. I hope you guys like this tutorial. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos couple of times a week. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.